tonight on J-Lo's Garage.
Even if we were sure Earth would be fine forever, do you want to be here forever? Do we have a spurt of adventure? Do we want to go out there and see the rest of the universe? Do we want to find out what's out there and maybe meet some alien civilizations? And if so, we need to be a multi-planet species. That's the next step, and then we can go from there to being a multi-stellar species. We're getting ready to put the engines on.
A little different than doing an engine swap at the garage. I meet up with one of the greatest innovators of all time,
Wow.
Elon Musk. And he's giving us an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of a spectacular SpaceX Starbase facility. You built this whole thing in 2 years.
Yeah.
He'll show us how he's turning his sci-fi dreams of human life on Mars into an incredible and attainable reality.
We're making one of these every 3 days.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's not all, because Elon's innovations have also made the auto industry even more exciting. Skateboard legend Tony Hawk swings by to show us his Tesla-powered retro mod Stingray Corvette.
Let's use some more electrons.
And then if you really can't get to Mars or don't have the time, comedian actor Tig Notaro and I can show you how to go to a valley far, far away in an unbelievably futuristic, state-of-the-art RV.
I think it was just a matter of time before we ended up in bed together.
Now, things may get a little dangerous,
There's so much new technology in here, there's a good chance the whole thing blows up.
but trust me, it's going to be great.
How many guys say that?
I wouldn't know. Not my wheelhouse.
Fans of this show know it's not just all about the amazing cars we showcase, or all the compelling people who drive them.
I want to talk about cars, look at cars, drive cars, read about cars.
What was the first vehicle you bought?
Audi Fox.
A sensible car.
I like speed.
Try your brakes.
It's also about all the incredible innovators who keep on changing the car game and the way we live. Like my first guest, who has graciously invited us all down for a visit to his state-of-the-art SpaceX launch facility outside Brownsville, Texas.
I'm here at Starbase talking with Elon. Good to see you again, my
Hey,
friend.
good to see you.
Now, it's not often you meet up with the richest man in the world, but Elon Musk and I have some history. He came by the garage with his very first electric roadster way back when.
6,831 batteries, is that what it is?
Yeah.
And let's just say his latest appearance on this show was super boring.
See, how are we?
I think
You're looking good on this side.
Okay, here we go.
You see what I did there? Now, when he's not upending the auto industry with high-performance electric cars and trucks, busy building tunnels below cities or hosting SNL, he's over at SpaceX, pushing the limits of outer space and technology. In fact, thanks to their tireless pursuit of reusable rockets, life on Mars may come much sooner than we think, especially if Elon has anything to say about it.
This is very inspiring, because I was one of those people, I was all into the space race, and then we just walked away from it. And now it's back, and all these kids are here doing this because of you, and you're their inspirations. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got an incredible team, and we're making great progress here. We're trying to achieve the holy grail of rocketry, which is a fully and rapidly reusable rocket. No one has ever made a fully reusable orbital rocket, and never one that could be rapidly reflown like an aircraft. And that is actually the essential sort of invention, if you will, that is necessary to make humanity a multi-planet species.
And it seems like common sense. I mean, you wouldn't get in a plane, fly it once,
Yeah.
and then wreck it,
Yes.
and then build
That'd be
another plane.
insane. Yeah.
So
like,
I
it'd be
mean,
like the current, the way that rockets used to be would be like if you bought a plane and then you over your destination you jump out with a parachute and then the plane crashes.
Right.
And that's actually how rockets work.
Why do you think it was not done before?
I mean, it's a very hard engineering problem. You need a lot of advancements on the engines, the airframe, the heat shield, and all of the technologies that go into the rocket in order to have it be reusable but still get payload to orbit.
Right.
Getting to space is easy,
Right.
but getting to orbit is 100 times harder than getting to space.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Confused? Let me try to explain. First things first. It's hard to believe space is just a mere 62 miles above the Earth. Yeah, fewer miles than, say, a round-trip drive to the nearest outlet mall. But what we call low orbit sits at around 100 to 1,200 miles up and is way harder to achieve. Primarily because it takes a lot more propellant to not only get there, but to maintain enough speed to stay up in orbit. And if an object can't maintain a fast enough orbital velocity, it'll eventually fall back into our atmosphere and probably burn up on re-entry. And since the current price for launching a SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket is $97 million, We definitely don't want that.
These have been reused, these ones here, correct?
Some of them, yes.
Yeah. I like the patina of it because it just has a look of a vehicle in use, you know?
Yeah.
They look like they've been into space.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole thing is built on site here, isn't it?
Yes. We built them in these high bays here and in the sort of factory up behind the high bays. But the public isn't really aware of this, and I think this would be just a good thing to educate people on. It's just how absolutely fundamental it is to make a fully reusable rocket.
Right.
It's profound. Going back to the aircraft analogy we were talking about, if you had to throw an airplane away after every flight, it would be so expensive that nobody could fly.
But see, that's what I love is the passion that you have, because most people in your financial position, they would have yachts and racing cars and places on the Caribbean and whatnot, but you put it all into this, don't you?
Yeah, I live here. I actually rent a house from SpaceX in the little village over there.
Yeah.
I spent about half my time over the past 2 years just getting this place built.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just incredible.
Now, the SpaceX Starbase sits on just over 100 acres of land right on the western edge of the Gulf of Mexico. And a lot has happened here at Starbase since they first broke ground way back in 2014. The first tracking antenna was installed in 2016, and the first propellant tank arrived in 2018. In 2019, they successfully tested and flew the first prototype test vehicle, dubbed Starhopper. And as of March 2020, Starbase had over 500 people on site working here 24/7 on the incredible third-generation SpaceX vehicle, Starship, which had its first successful test flight in 2021.
Now, this is the most impressive thing I've ever seen.
So this is our Starship. This is what goes all the way to orbit. This sits on top of the booster.
Right.
The ship is about 165 feet tall.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has any idea how big this is.
Yeah, it's 30 foot in diameter on the inside.
Yeah, because when you see it on TV, you're watching it from a half a mile away.
Yeah.
I mean, you're sending the Empire State Building into outer space, basically, here.
Yeah, it's a gigantic building. In fact, the payload area has more volume than a 747.
Wow.
So, but we can get closer if you want.
Yes, can we get a little closer?
You don't have to get too close to realize that the SpaceX Starship is an absolute technological marvel. The complete rocket consists of the booster stage below with the sleek-looking and state-of-the-art Starship spacecraft on top, which is constructed with a specially formulated stainless steel body. And simply put, it's the tallest and most powerful rocket ever built. Plus, it's reusable, which means huge savings on launch costs and more money for, say, lunches. Ooh, that looks good. But amazing design aside, the real magic at SpaceX is in the manufacturing.
You're the only person I've heard talk eloquently about the actual manufacturing, because that's the hard part. Anybody can draw a rocket.
Yeah, manufacturing is by far harder than the design. I mean, there's an old saying, it's like 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration.
Right, right.
I think it might actually be 99.9%
Yeah,
perspiration. Actually, in America, I'd say we underweight the value of manufacturing.
Right.
Manufacturing is extremely important, fundamental, and a very difficult thing to do. Even making prototypes of the rocket is easy compared to manufacturing a whole bunch of them.
Right.
So we're gearing up to make one of these per month, and then within a few years, be making one of these every 3 days.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I always say we won World War II, not necessarily because we had the best soldiers, which we did, but we were able to make a bomber every hour at a Willow Run. I mean, we actually built planes faster than the Germans could shoot them down. And there's still an awful lot of handwork on these, isn't it? It's men with welding equipment and tools and putting a rocket together, isn't it?
I mean, there is quite a bit of automation.
Right.
So we use lasers, like laser weld for all the larger welds. It's a machine doing a very precise laser weld.
And what you want to do here is build what, a total of 1,000 rockets?
How many rockets are needed to create a self-sustaining civilization on Mars? It's probably on the order of 1,000. So you can only go to Mars every 2 years.
Hold on a second. 2 years? Well, that's right, because every 2 years, Earth and Mars are orbitally aligned to allow for the shortest route between them. Okay, Elon, take it away.
So if you've got 1,000 ships, if you're able to put 100 people on that ship, that'll be 100,000 people every 2 years. And so it'd take you 20 years to get to 1 million people. And figure, I don't know, about 1 million people is probably what you need to create a self-sustaining city on Mars.
Well, that's why I love you. Always think big. I remember talking to you years ago about trains, and I was saying, you know, 200-mile-an-hour train. You said, no, mine will be 800 miles an hour. I mean, you're
Yeah.
always thinking that next step ahead, which I love.
As long as one is not breaking the laws of physics,
Right.
it can be done.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Hey, be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more clips, previews,